Grand Theft Auto 3 is a game made by Rockstar Games released in 2001 and was known to be a very controversial game at the time. The game depicts you as a man named Claude who can roam around a fictional representation of New York City known as Liberty City, and allows you to drive around various vehicles, take jobs from numerous employers, and kill people. The game was controversial at the time since people were unsure about letting children play a game that glorifies violence, even though it's made for adults and rated M. But GTA 3 is also remembered for how innovative it was at the time. The game lets you roam around in a fully open setting, being able to drive around and do as you will. Are you sure that this game is over 15 years old? Wait, hold on. Holy shit! The story of GTA 3 depicts our mute protagonist Claude being betrayed by his girlfriend Catalina during a bank robbery and is left to die. He's busted out of a prison transport truck along with a man named 8Ball. 8Ball introduces Claude to numerous employers that will allow Claude to find Catalina. If that sounds minimalistic to you, it is. GTA 3's story has no real depth to it, and I don't mean that as a bad thing. The GTA games are known for a deep story with piles of social commentary stacked on top, but GTA 3 doesn't really have that. The story of GTA 3 is simply an excuse to actually play the game. I'll get into later what I dislike about the gameplay, but to put it simply, if it wasn't for the story, I probably wouldn't have played GTA 3 for as long as I did. Stories in video games never have to be anything magnificent, and rarely they are. I can only think of a few games that have stories that remain consistent across numerous installments, or even just in a single game. I hate to use the, but it was made in 2001 argument, but come on, do you think that Rockstar's first priority was to make an outstanding story to stand the test of time? No, they simply wanted to make a game that was innovative and fun at its time. And in that regard, I think they succeeded. The gameplay of this game has not aged well. At all. The driving is really unstable, and at some points your car will completely flip over on a turn, or if you're driving at high speeds, the game's physics will freak out and your car gets flipped over. Here's an interesting comment section about the car realism in this game. Hey, my car's turned over, let's rock it like a fucking turtle and drive away. Fuck GTA and fuck those shit car physics. Gameplay over realism. Nobody wants to redo a mission where you drive across the damn map but have to do it again because your boxy flat car flipped over. Yet everybody did, time after time. Your point? Are you fucking kidding me, you retarded piece of shit? I'm not even gonna waste my time explaining it. Get some fucking common sense, or kill yourself. Way to keep your cool and stick to the debate, man. Your point? If you have to shout, you're retarded, kill yourself, instead of sticking to the argument, then put yourself down. This is YouTube, you dim-witted, wasted cum shot. You think there's going to be an intellectual debate here? If you don't want an intellectual debate, don't reply to people in the first place. I think this comment section is a perfect representation of just how toxic game communities can be. Anyway, the shooting in this game is also terrible. The aiming system has no lock-on, and what you use to aim in the first place is just a circle with a dot in the center, which is terrible for trying to get headshots. There's also no auto-aim unless you turn on the classic setting that is used in the console version, but if you turn on this setting, you lose the ability to freely control the camera and aim at whoever you want, because the auto-aim just snaps to anybody at random. A good example of how bad the shooting is when you run into an area that boxes you in with Colombians armed with M16s that will mow you down in seconds. These main factors make the game incredibly hard to get through, and since the story is the only thing that kept me going, honestly, sometimes I thought just fuck it, and I should just watch a playthrough of the rest and then just review it based on that, but I finished the game, just got it over with. This makes the game hard to recommend. I'd love to say that the game is great and that everyone should play it, but the game difficulty spikes really make it hard to recommend to other people. Speaking of difficulty, that brings me to my other point.
You are a no good, you are a no good, God. For the things that you do.
Let's have that one again, because I like it.
Thankfully, the game is kind enough to ease you through at the beginning, which I appreciate when games hold your hand for the start and then throw you out of the nest like a baby bird and hope that you fly. But this game Shaq foos your ass so hard into the pavement and shoves its throbbing wet cock so far in your ass that it pisses out your mouth. A good example of how it shack foods your ass hard into the pavement, shows its throbbing wet cock so far in your ass that it pisses out your mouth, is one mission in the final part of the game called Espresso to Go. This mission has you drive around the entire map, which is 3 whole islands, in 7 minutes. 7 fucking minutes. So what do you actually do in this mission? Well, you drive around, you destroy these 9 espresso stands in 7 minutes. Now, that might not sound that hard, and actually just driving around the map isn't really that hard in 7 minutes, it's doable. Yeah, that's until you find out there's no blips on the radar. So you have to drive around the whole map just to find those 9 stands. Thankfully, the game will let you drive around before you can start the timer, and the timer only starts when you destroy one of the stands. Man, this mission is still a pain in the ass. And one of the biggest reasons is because there's no map in the main menu. All you get is a mini map in the corner. That means you have to make assumptions based on the direction you want to go to get to your destination. You're never sure which is the fastest way because you can't see a full map and find out which route will be the fastest. This always becomes evident when you run out of time the second before your car crashes into the final espresso stand. Like I've said numerous times throughout this review, the game's over 15 years old. You can see this in its graphics and cinematics. I'm not saying that the game looks bad. In fact, I actually like the graphics. They're easy on the eyes and everything is clear and has distinct colors. As long as you can distinguish enemies and friendly characters, it's all fine for me. But one thing to note is that the game looks very pixelated on PC. This is because Rockstar didn't optimize the game for the PC correctly and a mod is needed to fix it. I'll link that mod down in the description if you're interested. The cinematics and cutscenes in this game are pretty mediocre, not gonna lie. Not saying that they look bad, but it's just because they lack content. When the cutscene is just Claude walking into a room and the guy giving the mission just says, "Hey, go kill this dude," and then Clyde's all like, "Alright," and just nods his head and walks out. He doesn't even say alright, because he can't talk, and that leaves a lot to be desired. There are some cutscenes that actually feature dialogue between characters that aren't Claude. Those are mucho goodo. I speak Spanish. As you've heard throughout this review, and yes, that is the soundtrack. It's not my shitty taste in music. I'm pretty versatile when it comes to music, and I'm pretty easy to impress when it comes to music. So if I say the radio stations suck ass, they suck ass. What made Vice City and San Andreas' soundtrack so memorable and good is the diversity and the length of the radio stations. Each radio station in those games had a unique feel, and they all had a good amount of songs on them, with songs that people actually knew. I'm sorry, but on the rap radio station, the only person that you know is Royce da 5'9", and on 2 of the other radio stations, they're entirely made by one person, one artist throughout the entire track list of the radio station. And also, just because you have classical and reggae music going on, it doesn't make it diverse, it just adds fat. And also with the classical radio station, it only has 5 songs on there. How? Most classical music isn't even protected by copyright law anymore, so why can't you just get a whole shit ton of classical music and at least have one radio station that's fully fleshed out? I mean, what's even the point of having a radio station if it's only going to play the same 5 songs on repeat?
And we gon' give this all that we got. Blow the spot, Keith.
Did I like GTA 3? Well, yeah, I enjoyed myself through most of the game, and only until the end part did I really start getting frustrated. Do I recommend GTA 3? Well, that's a hard question to answer. While overall the game can be a fun experience, I can't think of a solid reason for you to go out and buy this game. The main reason I even played it is just so that I can beat all the GTA games eventually, and I wanted to review this game. If you don't care about playing all the GTA games just to say that you did, I'd recommend skipping this one. I'd much more highly recommend Vice City, which I will eventually make a review of, don't worry. Or, you know, any other GTA game! But hey, that's just my opinion, and you don't have to agree with or like my opinion at all. If you think that GTA 3 is the best thing since sliced bread, well, that's your opinion. You're allowed to think that. Hell, if you want to, call me out on my shit. Say that I'm a dumbass little bitch in the comments. Say why this game is the best thing since ever. Overall, I give GTA 3 6.5 out of 10.